This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back to the Mid-Morning Show. We seem to be having quite a technical problem with Fatima, but do join us next week where she's going to be inspiring us a very important interview that I think we shouldn't miss out on. So join us next week for that particular one. Talking about phenomenal individuals, there's one that we're going to be speaking to this morning. His name is Siboniso Nomgenge, an entrepreneur, a young philanthropist, author, and founder of Nomgenge Duo clothing brand and foundation. Siboniso is 23 years of age, a black South African male born in the Eastern Cape in Queenstown. His family moved to Johannesburg when he was 2 years old. They lived in Eldorado Park for 2 years and then moved to Eldorado Park, where he started his primary education up to matric. Siboniso has a vision and the willingness to grow in every area of his life. He's an activist in Eldorado Park, an entrepreneur, and an inspiring filmmaker with a desire to empower the people he comes in contact with on a daily basis to tell great stories of South African communities, especially the notorious ones. And also, Nomgenge is a founder and managing director of that particular brand, as I said. And I think his story is very phenomenal and important because his foundation actually focuses on child education, charity for community, and a clean environment. And knowing the Eldorado Park area firsthand, I would say I think it's amazing work that he's going to be talking to us about. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us on the Mid-Morning Show here with myself, Nafeesa Dangor. It's lovely to be able to get a chance to chat to you this morning, Siboniso. Siboniso, are you on the line? Can you hear me chatting to you?
Signal.
Yeah, I think we seem to be having a bit of a signal issue there. Could we possibly try you out on the telephone, Siboniso?
He stepped inside his home, he was overwhelmed with fear. An angel came with words from God, things were still unclear. Saying, read, read, but he could not read. Amazing words that he heard. A trembling deep inside his heart, confused by what had occurred. There was only one who could comfort him, to help him see the light, to ease his fears, to reassure, was Khadija, his wife. He said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, Dathiruni, Dathiruni, a mighty task has come before me. I need you here with me, by my side, by my side. She was a woman of nobility, successful in all her trade. Many wealthy men had asked for her, she turned them all away. But when she saw Muhammad, a shining moon, may peace be on his soul. He was a light for her, so right for her, her life will now be whole. But she had never seen him so distressed as he was there that day. She would comfort him and hold him tight and chase his doubts away when he said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, Dathiruni, doth it only a mighty task has come before me. I need you here with me, by my side, by my side, by my side. We look for stories of love in places dark and cold, when we have a guiding light for the whole world to behold. We're so selfish in our
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back to the Mid-Morning Show. We seem to have lost a Siboniso earlier on StreamYard. For those of you that missed out, I just want to give you a quick breakdown about him because I think it's really phenomenal to know what he's doing. He's a Black South African from the Eastern Cape who, of course, then moved to Eldorado Park, and he's doing some phenomenal things in that area. He's also an entrepreneur and an aspiring filmmaker with a desire to empower the people he comes into contact with on a daily basis. And what I found phenomenal is that he's trying to empower young people in the Eldorado Park and surrounding areas by creating public awareness campaigns and charity events. And I think that's very important because, especially coming from the Eldorado Park area, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the fact of the types of challenges and situations that these people in this particular area face. And Siboniso is our little ray of light and hope, and we're going to be speaking to him about that. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Apologies for that technical issue that we had earlier. Siboniso.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Oh, a very good day to you. Thank you so much for joining me on the show with myself, Nafeesa Dangor. I am so excited to be able to speaking to you this morning, especially coming out of the Eldorado Park area and doing such phenomenal work that you are doing. Talk to us about yourself and your little journey of turning eventually from an entrepreneur to a young philanthropist, an author, and then, of course, the foundation that I think is absolutely important to young people to be able to entice them into better spaces and change the way they see things. Because, I'm quite aware of the Eldorado Park area. I know that people face very serious and difficult challenges there. And there are many impoverished people in the area as well that are looking to find themselves and find their way.
That's true. Firstly, I would like to answer your question. I would just like to greet the listeners and also the viewers online on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said, my name is Siboniso Nomgenge, and I'm a resident of Eldorado Park. I wouldn't say born and bred from Eldorado Park, but I would say groomed from Eldorado Park.
Mm.
So, as a youngster from Eldorado Park, I saw like the norm and what was taking place. As you said, it's an import area and there's so much lack.
Mm.
I wanted to be a game changer in terms of to make a difference. You understand? I didn't want to become part of the norm and over the crowd. I wanted to stand out with everything and every project that me and my team would not normally do.
Mm.
So, up school, like even school, kind of difficult. And I was faced with so many challenges, like at home, coming from an informal settlement and poor background and things like that. But I don't want to use it as a
No, but it's good that you speak about your challenges, Siboniso, because people need to understand what had motivated you to actually change your space. Because you're doing so many phenomenal things besides the foundation. You've now become you've got your certificate in film editing, camera and lighting. You're now becoming a filmmaker. So I think it makes people understand that although you come from the Eldorado Park area, and I want you to just explain to our listeners, there's a situation in Eldorado Park. People need to understand what sort of challenges people like yourself face in the area, besides, of course, impoverishment, the lack of basic education, no online learning available during this particular period. Let's bring some of that to light so people understand what you've gone through and how you've managed to overcome it and entice other people also into doing better things for themselves, irrespective of the area they're in.
True, because we are faced with a lot of challenges, and with all the challenges that we are currently facing in Eldorado Park, we need to be solutionists, and instead of wondering or making excuses that we are faced with, there's no internet connection, there's not enough secretary centers, there's not enough ABNC. What can we do? What things we do? How can we empower the youngsters? How can we help the generation? Since we be seeking out from the government year in, year out, we need to be the change. We need to come up with solutions and things like that.
That's very true, because the thing is, like you say, I mean, you would know the challenges faced in your area, and having to bring that to light to government, excuse me, would actually be very important, because the thing is, as we say, each community has their own challenges and the things that they face. And if we don't bring the awareness to that, then of course we can't get the necessary help out there. So talk to me about your journey.
My journey in terms of the foundation or my personal capacity journey?
Yes. How difficult was it for you to be able to get into the space where, you know, you had these potentials, and knowing Eldorado Park, there aren't those opportunities available to do what you're doing. So what did it take for you to go out there and try and turn your life around for the better?
A great question. At first, it was primary, because I won't lie to the viewers and to the listeners, say that, you know, my ride was smooth, as if there was no speed bumps or hiccups along the way, yet where I'm at. I'm not actually where I want to be, but I'm moving towards it. So in some cases, like, you know, that we are faced with crime, right, drug addiction, drug problem, teenage problem. So I found myself in those situations as well, where I would see most of my friends, colleagues, you understand, where they were faced with the same peer pressures, but they fell for it. And I would say that I was more strong, you understand, where I could make the decision on my own. See that, like, you know what? And also, like, I was rooted properly, coming from a Christian background, and also my friends, you understand, I had a proper room around me to make me make the decisions that I have, like, you understand.
Yeah,
So
it's nice to see that you had the support structure, but I think from that you probably understood that there's a lot of young people in Eldorado Park that don't have those support structures, and it's nice to see that you've created this foundation to be able to create that support structure and be that support structure for those young people, to be able to help them make something better out of themselves from the situation they're in at the moment and the types of challenges that they're facing, of course.
True. In most cases, it wasn't handed to me on a silver platter. So I had, like, to do introspection, like, for myself, to say, like, Sibby, when you saw every decision I did, like, net, like, I calculated, like, if I would, let's say, for argument's sake, I would go according to norm, do drugs. What would be the consequences of me doing drugs? If I would steal cars, what would be the consequences of me stealing cars? If I would start the foundation, what is the consequences of me starting the foundation? Me starting my own clothing brand. You understand? So I had to grow up at an early age to make that decision.
Yeah.
And for it to feed off and to be seen like an example in the community.
It's nice to see that you've created these, you know, should we say, little partnerships with people. And then also opening up a soccer team, which I think is absolutely phenomenal, because I do, as you were saying earlier, and I'm quite aware of the fact that the Eldorado Park area has a major drug issue. The problem is rather huge, and having to try these people, turn these people's lives around, is very difficult, because the thing is, you have to entice them to be able to look at themselves and say that they want to change the space that they're in. And by creating this little soccer team and getting them involved in sport is a great thing, because sometimes it may just, that little change will make a difference, where they can understand that there's better things that they can, experience in life besides that to going and taking that drug for the day.
So, like basically, the idea, we don't own the soccer team. We have partners like with the local.
Yes, that's what I was saying, is you're partnering up, and it's nice to see that the partnership is creating a difference. So what is happening, you partnering up in different directions, like with photography and the soccer team and a few other things, to be able to help these young people realize that their lives could be different, and they can aspire towards their goals and dreams by changing it, by getting out of that horrible space that they're in. And I think sometimes just a little change in environment, like maybe a little soccer game, could make such a difference in a person's life.
So it also brings peace. Like football unites people and also brings peace. It's a much kind of sport, like, and if we use it in a good manner, in a good way, you'll see it off in a positive manner.
How do, I know the Nomgenge Duo Foundation is focusing on child education, and I think that is so imperative because especially with the types of situations we're in now, education is key. It's the most valuable thing that you can give to a person, and that was also noted by Nelson Mandela. What does it mean for you knowing that you can go out there and empower someone? Because the thing is, once you've educated them, you've empowered them in many directions where they can then find a better way in their lives.
So it's one of the reasons, like, for the foundation, everything that is implemented in the foundation was basically all the things that I lived. Like, I never had a mentor. Was like with the book, we have written like our game changers. Where these guys in the book that featured, they have the opportunity to be mentored and be mentees under them. You understand? To have someone under their wing and to shadow them, so to grow and to be groom them, show them that there's a positive way and a good way of becoming a great person, and to be seen. Like most of the guys, like the other youngsters, want to be seen on TV, they want to be seen on billboards, and I believe that our foundation has this kind of a platform, and working with NGOs in the community and soccer team and entertainment guys, like where we nurture them and groom them to be on a national platform, because most of the youngsters are, some are in varsity, some are in serious sports fields, and so like the foundation, we can see the fruits of the foundation, like when we started off.
Talk to me about the situation. I mean, as we know, Eldorado Park and Kliptown is not far down the road. Always been a community really struggling on through life. What has it been like now during the COVID period?
It's a tricky question in the sense of where the youngsters, like the timetable, you feel like to go 3 times a week to school, so they meander around where they can easily fall into the trap, like the case of now, about alcohol abuse, teenage pregnancy, and drug trap. So the same thing is taking place in Slow Town Park, in Freedom Park, in all the Johannesburg neighborhoods. I feel like the government needs to.
I think we needed to shed light on this, because the thing is, as I know, there's no facility for, where young people can go and get access to online education. So I'm sure it's been a whole lot more difficult for you to be able to help these kids that you were helping initially, to try and get them that necessary they're looking for. Or have you bridged the gap through tuition?
As you said, like now it's hard. An example, library. So that was the only way youngsters get the opportunity to read a book or just to get literacy. So for the get social distance and the regulations kind of limits the youngsters to be empowered. And also, the most important thing is internet. How many facilities is there in Eldorado Park that can say that like it's available for youngsters to go? Like even printing a simple paper or textbook is hard because of the library is closed. So how many kids have that single 2 rands to go and make a coffee by the neighbor or wherever? And they just, because our community is find out in the lowest end community. So it's kind of tricky, very tricky.
I think it's concerning because the thing is, as we know, we just went through the matriculant situation. And I mean, there's other students that are, this year in matric, and being in the situation you're in. And as we know, school is not happening every single day. So how are you coping with that kind of situation?
I think it's like a very place to find out to see how it goes out. I find it like the last learning and things like it, and then also like mostly the people that's been affected the most. Like I have a few guys that was in matric last year that made it through.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Understand that made it like that they were using like our data from the foundation and from friends to make something, because they would come to me and say like, Siboniso, listen, is it the possibility that we can use your Wi-Fi and the company's equipment just to do assignments? I feel like even the schools don't even have that access. Good point where the youngsters can go and say, listen, I would like to make copies for my assignment A, B, and C. We give them the assignment and they just leave them hanging. And there's no solution to the problem. So I find it like it's a bit kind of hard. And
no, it's very difficult. I so agree with you, and I understand the situation. But it's nice to see that, like I said, you've been bridging that gap by trying to give them as much education from your side as possible, by, of course, creating that access to the Wi-Fi, helping them out to get those books that they're looking for, or, of course, maybe some of those copies that they require. And then, of course, sending out that hand to try and get them some added tuition, which I think is great, because this is helping out to actually empower your community in some way, so that you can try and get a lot of these people out of that impoverishment that we actually see when we go to Eldorado Park.
We would like to see Eldorado Park being an attraction, and that's the main goal, that's the main aim. We have started the foundation, and everyone that started to be an attraction. We would like to see our brand as an icon of Eldorado Park and being seen as on the peloton of the globe. You understand? So at the end, that's why we're empowering these young. That's why we're investing in them, not for our safe park, for the community.
What edged you on to start this?
Pardon, I didn't get it.
What edged you on to start this foundation?
I started it 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when I first, I think I was in my first year of business, and then after that, I decided to start the foundation of nothing, of the small profit I was making at that point, and wait at like now we're having our second project. It's going to be on Mandela Day clinical.
What does it mean for you to know that you're giving back in so many directions, to uplifting your own community and bridging that gap? You're not sitting back and saying, well, government's not helping us, or this one is not helping us, or that one's not helping us. We're not getting a proper support structure from the public as such. And you've just gone that extra mile, and you decided, well, this is what I'm going to do. And we are not going to stop at this and look for these excuses and blame anybody. But we're going to actually try and create a system within our community where we support each other and we build each other up. And I think that's what I found phenomenal about your story, is that you didn't look for those excuses and hold yourself back and hold the people the young people, should we say, in your area back. And I think that's absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing to see because I am quite familiar with the Eldorado Park area, and going through there at times, I do see the situations at hand, and what you've spoken about and what you've actually done in your foundation is literally filled the gap that has been missing in Aldo's for a very long time.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself going forward?
From the foundation, we set ourselves in taking not just Eldorado Park, but Gauteng. You understand? Taking baby steps. So from here, we're going to Silver Park, Cliftown, Cedar Park, Annabelle, Cliff Trade, Lions. You understand? We want to partner with all different NGOs. And then from there, I think that the trend, the government will see the vision and partner with us. Not going to wait on the government to say that no, we would like to partner with you at this early stage or whenever. They will join us. Not going to be
are they actually aware of what it is that you're doing? Because the thing is, at this point in time, government is looking to create the youth empowerment and help youth move forward. And they do have those facilities. So maybe an idea would be as to get in touch with them and say, this is the phenomenal things we're doing in the Eldorado Park area, irrespective of all the other challenges that we have. So maybe they can reach out and help you in some way to move even further with your situation there. Because, as we know, they say charity begins at home. And once you've built your area up and then move into Gauteng, is going to be absolutely phenomenal, because people are going to see the major differences in your area and what you've created. And maybe by partnering up with government, you could reach out even further in your area to do better things.
It's true. Currently, at the moment, I don't think we've worked with the government with any project, but if anyone is listening or can see us, would like to plug us with the government, we'd be more than keen to work with the government. The only organizations that we worked with was the Yellow Ribbon Foundation, names, and also EOM Ministries, and then also RHM, and then there's a few guys, man, and then we've worked with that gave us a boost, like to say that, guys, this is a great initiative that you guys are taking. Like, basically, the reason why I started this is at an early age, not getting $1 million or $1 billion in our account. I started it with a $1 and showing that it is possible what extent that you have. It's just all about the vision, not about the amount that you have.
I so agree with you. That is very true. You couldn't have said that better. It's about the vision and building each other up, and not necessarily only just with the remuneration of money. It's having to get support structures in other directions besides that. What message would you like to leave our listeners with this afternoon to say, what is it that you'd like to see as far as change is concerned?
I believe that this is a market of land. I would like us if we can join it and work together with one another as we are neighbors. Understand? So where we can say that, listen, we have this partnership with land, we have this partnership with Freedom Park, we have this partnership with Canada. And that's this vision. We share one vision, which is empowering and helping the youngsters. So they are the future leaders.
Well,
so, as I say, my favorite quote is teamwork makes the dream work, which we all are in the same dream.
And I like your motto, because it says you're claiming investing close to home before you branch out somewhere else, and that's what we just spoke about, is starting at home. I think this is a phenomenal project that you're heading into. From the Salam Media team, we'd like to wish you nothing but the best. What last message would you like to leave us with?
Well, last message I would like to give you guys is that with unity, guys, we can make the change. With unity, we can become game changers. With unity, we can overcome this burden of COVID-19 with unity. We see the need and we solve it. It's all. That's how to go and wait is their response.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and of course, should we say, enlightening us on the types of things that you can do to change your life, irrespective of the type of, should we say, environment you're in and what you're faced with. And I mean, knowing the difficulties of Eldorado Park, I'd like to commend you of having that really positive attitude and having to want to move your community forward with absolutely great attitude and enthusiasm. And I wish you nothing but the best going forward. And you definitely have our support here from the Salam Media team. We want to thank you so much. I think it was definitely an inspirational, eye-opening conversation where people who would like to get involved with you, I think they should do. So quickly before we go, give us your details if there's anybody that'd like to get in touch with you to be able to help you make a difference in the area.
So like I said, thank you so much for the opportunity and the platform. And our contact details as follows. On WhatsApp is 072 731043. And then our email is www.nomgengeduo.co.za. And then on all social media platforms, SMD Foundation on Instagram and Nomgenge Duo Foundation on Facebook. And we are on Twitter, on all the digital platforms. Are more than welcome to partner with us and share the vision.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. We wish you nothing but the best going forward. Keep that ambition going. You're definitely going in the right direction, and you've got us thinking about so many things where we could make differences in the lives of youth and help them create a better future. So thank you so much. You take care of yourself and have a lovely one.
You too, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was Siboniso Nomgenge, and definitely trying to create milestones in the Eldorado Park area. As we know, an area very impoverished, going through many directions of, should we say, challenges. But these youngsters are going out there and are not stopping themselves from moving forward. We seem to be reaching the end of the show. We're running out of time. I want to leave you with something this afternoon by Steve Maraboli. It says, I find the best way to love someone is not to change them, but instead